Hello and welcome. This is Ayana Lahi, and I am so very happy that you are here with me today. In this week's episode of Be One, Be You, we are diving into freeing yourself from judgment and duality. Judgment is a state of being in separation from the source of the love within inside of yourself. We are rarely taught how to really love who God is within inside of us, not as a separate reality, but as the source that is within us that creates who we are into motion. When we drop that inner judgment, we open up the door to allow the joy within ourselves to blossom. And living in that joy is the greatest gift that you can give to yourself. We have so many judgmental thoughts, everything from I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I don't deserve, who I am is not enough. Got to have the kitchen clean just perfectly. My clothes aren't perfect today. Oh, bad hair day. But what happens when you lighten up and find your solutions to working with me, what may not be perfect in your day? But what you bring forward instead is your love and showing up and moving through the most challenging circumstances and situations. People want love. The greatest gift you can bring is your love. When you come home from a rough day, or if you're working at home and you're coming from things not being good enough, you're upset because you're alone, or perhaps you're finding fault with your partner for what hasn't been done, and you can live for years that way, but thinking you're a very positive person, you're very practical, very logical, and things just need to really fit together. So they appear and look like everything's in order. But in reality, there's always chaos inside of the unknowing. When you move from judging and having to spend most of your time responding and reacting to your life, to the world, to situations, to others, and you cover it over or you rationalize it, what happens is that there is a slacking of momentum in your life, and it will show up in a relationship breaking apart, losing a job, having less financial income, your health deteriorating, just a lack of happiness. And what happens is when we are judging ourselves, judging others, judging the world, judging another religious group, judging this or that, what we find is that we have limited our scope. We have limited our perception, and we can't go beyond the box that we've put ourselves into, because in that box it feels safe. And perhaps you have forgotten that as a child you were in a box, and that you were put in a box by your parents or a teacher or an environment or religion, the culture that you're in, or just by the fear inside of you. And in that box you could hide so that no one could hurt you, no one could come through. And now you're tired of that. There's something that feels like sandpaper, it feels rough, and you want it to be softer. And you don't really want to be escaping you anymore or numbing down that pain anymore. And you find that flame within you that is pure light, and you realize and decide that you can't hang out somewhat in the light within you and somewhat in the dark, that you can't go back and forth anymore. You can't play one against the other, and that you've noticed how things in your personal life and professional life aren't working the way that you really would want them to. The mirror that you're getting back is not quite as bright as you want and that you believe can be. We all have our stuff. And by realizing the ways that we subtly judge how we want somebody else to meet up to our expectations, that's a rough one, isn't it? When we get to know someone and we realize that they were showing just some part of themselves and hiding the other part that is in their shadow. How do you deal with that? What do you say? What do you do? Well, you have to stop judging. Inside of you, your own responses, and discover what you need to do for yourself to hold the boundaries that really take care of you, that support you. To not shut down. When you are freeing yourself from judgment, you are discovering at the same time the ways that you create conflict inside yourself. The conflict originates in polarities, in the opposites, the duality of all life. In duality, you have the polar opposites happening at the same time. Even on the color spectrum, there is an opposite color. Orange is the opposite of blue. To heal in yourself, to mend the separations, you are bringing together the opposite. A part of you, for instance, that is deeply wounded inside, felt unwanted, unreceived, unseen, not good enough, not worthy, that part, with the you that is walking on pins and needles feeling, is the love that I am enough? Can I really show up in this love and trust it? Will the world want me? Will I be rejected? My love wasn't really seen when I was small. Can I risk that now? You want to start through loving you. And each day you find that that love turns into a deeper and more brilliant light. That light is what brings you through duality. You know why? Because the light within you merges the opposites. When I speak about the soul being pure light, and yes, it's made of masculine and feminine energies, as I've mentioned in previous podcasts, but in reality, they're one. You are one. So we go through the great divide in our evolutionary experience, and you, as soul, comes into your body. It reincarnates, right? Comes into a new body, whole new experience. But you bring into this life the nuances, the experiences, the perceptions and projections, the lessons that you have to learn now come from what you decided through judgment in your previous lifetimes. And they're always judgments about yourself, that you didn't do a good enough job, you didn't succeed, putting that fire out, or perhaps you were too hasty, or wow, I shouldn't have slept with my best friend's wife, or perhaps wow, I was bought out in a past lifetime, or wow, I served and I really helped a lot of people, but I didn't save enough people. So there's judgment. Worked with a lot of men over years, not even planning it, but the universe does this. It brings to all of us exactly what we need to mend something in ourselves and to give to the exact right people what they need in that moment. And what I discovered was different men, different parts of the United States coming to work with me, and they felt incomplete, shut down, and pretty sad inside about their life. And their inner male was wounded. And what I found were these amazing, amazing Native American chiefs who judged themselves because they couldn't predict or foresee being tricked, talked into a treaty with the white leaders. And the grief and the pain that these individual men who don't know each other, never knew each other, but had similar experiences in our sessions, was the horror that they felt that they could misjudge. They did not understand how separation thinking worked, to be tricked into something or to be taken over because of the greed for land. Because the earth belongs to no one. And yet that battle began centuries ago, if not thousands of years ago, that continues today around the planet. It's the sense of ownership and power, that false power. And so these individual men awakened to their inner loss, their grief, their sadness, their hurt, the disappointment, the letdown, having to watch their tribe be murdered and seeing much torture and pain. And then now, in present time, needing to move forward, to have to open the heart and discover that self-forgiveness is key. And to refine that part so that it can grow and learn even greater connection to source within themselves and to honor themselves. And so in this little synopsis of a pretty big story, the massacre of millions of people, we now find ourselves in a time of judging others and no longer remembering how to create peace because we have gone into separation in ourselves and the duality of not knowing how to walk through the love, that light inside of ourself. We go into judgment. It keeps us in duality. It keeps us in separation thinking that we are different, we are separate, we need to be better than. And we find ourselves judging and having opinions, and yet we haven't really begun to turn within, really. No matter how much you might pray or meditate or think of yourself as a particular way, as I've shared in a previous podcast, you're not your identity. You are striving forward now in this day and age, in this evolutionary time, to discern, to return into the source within you, to know that innermost being, your infinite source, God, is not out there judging you. There is no judgment. It's made up. God is pure love, and that love is inside of you, but we leave it because we have been so persecuted over thousands of years for being that light. And so people fight amongst themselves. Nations fight against nations. Within inside of a nation, a leader emerges from his false power. He lives in separation and duality. And as I say he, it could be she, he. That separation is what I'm bringing here to you to embrace. Because whatever you have left must be embraced to receive again. And then as you're whole, you can journey into oneness. That's what the Spirit Gateway's 21st Century Liberation Roadmap is. And you get that roadmap and you move through it. That's uniquely your journey. And that's how our membership program is set up. You get to move in it in your timing, your way, what you're drawn to. And in the 3 intro courses, B1, BU, the foundation course, which is pure dynamite to open up the doors in you, and evolutionary empowerment, which is a deep dive with many practices. Those are the foundational structure, the pillars of all of Spirit Gateways. And when you move into the Evolutionary Empowerment Global Village membership site, you get those 3 courses as part of being enrolled in the program, and dozens of other video courses and trainings, and the opportunity to be in mentoring. Mending your own heart is key to coming into oneness, coming back to you. And in that return to you, you're able to move through these times in this lifetime and then create the foundation for future lifetimes to evolve into the source within you, to return into the one within you. So all of the work that you do is for a higher purpose. Your own mind connects with your body connects with your soul connects with the infinite source within you. As you release the inner battles, the way that one part of you judges another and you don't even know what's happening, that's the kind of breakthrough that happens in the Spirit Gateway's work. And in the 21st Century Liberation Roadmap, you're guided to have your own realizations in your timing, your way. And I invite you to come check it out at my website at iyanalahi.com, IANALAHI. I invite you to pay attention to the little ways that you judge someone, judge yourself, and practice ending those small judgments. And realize that by ending those small judgments, you are ending your attachment to duality, living in separation. We stay in separation to feel safe so that we're not hurt, to protect the light that we are. And I'm inviting you to choose in your timing to come to the light within you and to know that a whole new universe of consciousness is there waiting for you. And this is my joy, my love to hold that door open and bring you to those inner gateways so that you can meet yourself and enter into the source within you. Thank you so much for being here and joining us, holding you in deep, deep love. Until next time, this is Ayana Lehi